Majesties, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for always returning. Trust you and yours are well and you're loving yourself and others like always. Many thanks to all of you for the support you give to the channel. Thank you so much to our channel members, to our anonymous supporters, to all of you my esteemed subscribers. You're loved, celebrated and appreciated. Let's listen to Dr. Ray. Okay, it's been a while we talk about Dr. Ray here. So today I brought something of interest to you, and it's about our beliefs in religion, right? And the truth is that I think this might just be a continuation of the fact that the African man and the woman knows a lot about divinity and is connected to the Almighty more than we had taught. Because there are ideas that were the African idea that were plagiarized, a lot of them. Dr. Ben have been talking and talking and talking. A lot of us refused to listen to him until he was gone. And we had a lot of melanated scholars, teachers, prophets, messiahs who have been talking. But because we have been, confused, okay, I know the level of what had been done to us through religion, so I can understand. Because of that in our brains, because of the way our brains have been positioned and everything, we are refusing to believe the truth even when the truth is before our faces. The fact that all the practices in religion today, all the religions around the world, the major religions around the world, the Abrahamic religion, are things that are similar to the beliefs of the African people of ancient times. And when I say ancient time, I am talking about long ago, before Christianity. Thousands of years before Christianity was created. These are things that was existing in the African way of life, in the African ways of communicating with the Almighty and the divine. And that is why I keep telling you that we are people who have been communicating with the Almighty in our own way. A majority of the things that are practiced in religion today are things that are familiar to our spirits. As the African man, as the African woman, a lot of the things in religion today are things that are familiar with our spirit. They are familiar with my spirit. They are familiar with your spirit. And that is why it is difficult to cut off from religion, because you feel like, I'm okay with this thing. This is the right thing to do. My spirit is at home with this. Why will you come tell me that religion is an element of control when this is what my spirit is at home with? Your spirit is at home with it. My spirit is at home with practices in religion, because already these are our practices. These are our way of life. These are the things that our spirits are used to, are familiar with. And I keep telling you that we are our ancestors in the flesh at this point. So our ancestors who were familiar with these things live in us, and we live in our ancestors. And that is why our spirits are familiar with these practices, and we feel at home with these practices. And why do you think religion was a tool of control and it was so perfect? Because already they know that we are the originators of these practices, and it is going to go well with them. It's going to be the perfect way to control.
Osiris and Egyptian resurrection. Now, when I first saw this book, I said, wait a minute, because the only resurrection I'd ever heard of was what resurrection? Resurrection of Jesus Christ and those who believe in him. So what is this Egyptian resurrection thing? When I open to the forward of the book, notice what it says. It says, if you can read with me. The central figure of the ancient Egyptian religion was Osiris. And the chief fundamentals of his cult were the belief in his what? Divinity, what else? Death, resurrection, and absolute control of the destinies of the bodies and souls of men. The central point of each Osiris religion was what? His hope of resurrection in a transformed body and of immortality, which could only be realized by him through the death and resurrection of Osiris. When I read that, I said, what the hell is this? I said out loud in the store. And the store owner came, is everything okay? I said, yeah, everything is okay, man. But see, I could not say, Satan the Lord rebuke you to the book. I can say that to a person who can hear me saying it, but I can't say that to a book. And when I saw it, I said, this is what I've been preaching. For over 25 years, I had been preaching this. But it wasn't about nobody named Osiris. It's about somebody named Jesus. That's when I realized, okay, something ain't right. And I began to thumb further through the book. I saw that Osiris had a son whose name in the Greek was Horus. And as soon as I saw the word Horus, Horus, my mind immediately went back to 3 years when I confronted that brother and rebuked him in Jesus' name. I said, this is what he was talking about. Not Horace, Horus. And that made me start doing the research. And I haven't stopped yet. And that was back in what, 87? That was 1990. So, here's your original Trinity. Now, actually, that's not the original Trinity. Grab what I'm saying. The original Trinity is called an atom. Atom. Now, why? Because it's made up of 3 parts that make up one. An atom is composed of what? Neutron, proton, and electron. Okay? That's your original Trinity in creation. The atom itself. Or another name for God, atom. Got me? A-T-O-M or A-T-U-M. Because there were no vowels. Got me? So the atom or the atom is the original Trinity in nature. And it's deep because the 3 make one.
Your Majesties, that was Dr. Ray there. And most of you might have come across this discussion of his. There was a time I said I was not going to do anything about, things like this on this channel anymore. But the truth is that those who will listen would listen. And that is why we're still here for this, right? We are all in for the liberation of the melanated people. And when we're talking about liberation, not just physical liberation, but spiritual liberation, mental liberation, because mentally, spiritually, we are tied to something that we feel like when we cut off from it, that's the end of our life. And that is a slave-master relationship that we keep talking about for a long time, where you feel like you depend on this person, you depend on this thing, and cut off from that thing, you're gone, your life is gone. And what does that belief do to us? That belief limits our own powers because it makes you feel like there's nothing inside of you that is great, that you are nothing without that thing that is outside of you. And that is exactly what Yeshua was talking about when he said to Mary Magdalene that there is nothing outside of you that can save you. It is that which is inside of you. When you go through the book of Mary Magdalene, the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, you understand better. Because it is only when you give the consent that something can have dominion over you. And that is why we talk about, when people talk about being someone being possessed or something happening spiritually and the rest of them, the question I always ask is, what was that person's thoughts condition at the moment where whatever it is that happened? Our thoughts are powerful. What we think about is powerful because we are powerful. And to the spirits, our thoughts are like spoken words. And that is why we always talk about guarding what we think about, our thoughts and our words. We should guard it. And they say it's out of the abundance of the heart that the mouth speaketh. Before you speak out something, you had already thought about it in your heart. What do you always think about? Because that which you think about comes to reality before your face, either immediately or gradually. And that is why we admonish to have good thoughts. Because when these spirits pass by, they are always there. There are always spirits everywhere. Right now, at this moment, there are spirits. Okay? Now, they see what you think. Because they see through you. These are spirits. You are flesh and blood. Okay? You are also a spirit, but in the matter, in this flesh and blood, there are things that you are limited to. But you can attain to that. You only need some practices and training to ascend. And when your third eye is open, you begin to see the spirits themselves. But as man, we are limited. And there is a reason why. Okay, Majesties? So, these spirits see your thoughts as spoken words. They see through you. So before you even say, okay, I did not say it with my mouth, but how come did this thing happen? You thought about it. You thought about it. And so they saw that you could give consent. You had given consent because this is the way you thought about it. You must not speak it out of your mouth. You see? And that's why they say God sees our innermost thoughts. Okay? Thoughts that we have not spoken, God sees them. So when you are praying or communicating with the divine, you don't need to shout aloud. Even in the silence of your heart, God sees what you want. Because God is a spirit, right? Because the spirit sees through us and sees what we want, what we are thinking about. So be careful of what you think. Because you give consent most of the time without you verbally saying the word. But your thoughts, what you think within you. And this spirit sees it. When the evil ones see you having evil thoughts, they help you make it come to pass. That's why you have to be careful. Okay? Because the more evil thoughts you have, the more evil spirit you attract to yourself. These are facts still. The more good thoughts you have, the more good spirits you attract to yourself. These are facts. Okay? Because there is something in us that attracts them. Whichever thought we have is like a magnet that attracts these things, these beings rather, these spirits. It's like a magnet. Wherever you are, you attract them to yourself. So what are you attracting? What am I attracting? As a melanated king or a melanated queen, your majesties. I just felt like showing this to you. Okay, because I've been talking about it a whole lot. I don't want to keep, flogging the issue again and again and again. But when I saw this, I said, okay, it's good that I bring it here so that we maybe trigger ourselves a little bit. Like I keep telling you, I'm not in a position to tell you to believe whatever it is Abigail is saying. But you should give yourself that opportunity to open your heart. Opening your heart to believing that your ancestors were not barbaric beings who do not know anything about the Creator, or your ancestors are divine beings as well. They have connection to divinity. And you are not just evil. Refuse to believe that which the narrative is forcing you to believe. You are not just evil. There is a lot of goodness inside of you. I'm going to see you in my next one. Until then, love yourself, love others, stay safe, stay positive. Always your majesties. Bye for now.